Dude, I'm so bad at like starting these because I hate like the corny like, what's going on YouTube? Like make
You
sure
don't want
to
me to make the hands?
hit the bell. Hit the sub button.
It's down there.
Yeah.
You can't hit the dislike button anymore.
Swipe up to get iced up. No, welcome everybody to the 15th Club interview with Hadji Gaviota, artist, TikTok sensation, pilot, teacher. What else? Am I missing anything else on
for
the
this
list?
week, we're good. Yeah.
Okay.
You never know where I'll be. Like,
Great.
You know how that you ever watch Cow and Chicken? That cartoon?
No.
Anybody? They had like that red guy who was like
Must be a 90s baby thing.
Yeah, sorry, I'm old as fuck.
Continue.
But there's like this like weird like red character. He's like this like weird like little like he was like the antagonist or whatever, and he had a different job like every episode. That's me for sure.
Yeah, awesome. So thank you for wanting to do this with me.
Of course, welcome to this is not my house, but welcome to my house for this week while I'm in LA.
Mm-hmm. We're turning up in here. It's been crazy. So yeah, what brings you out to LA? All the way from okay.
Yeah.
Let's get a little introduction real quick, and then what brings you out to LA?
All right. So my name is Hadji Gaviota. An artist from Queens, New York, born and raised. And I'm out here working on some music mostly and eating In-N-Out and Dave's Hot Chicken.
Yeah.
And tacos, a lot of tacos, definitely. And driving a Range Rover around and cutting people off for fun because I'm bigger than them.
And going to the beach every day.
Yeah.
Just the California stuff.
0 times. It's cool. I did go to like Elysian Park. It was cool. It was nice. Yeah. Got to like see the smog up close. I could like grab it myself.
Yeah, so sick. You're out here working on music. I guess what I want to start off with right off the bat is I loved that post you made about your progression through the years. You showed like all your Spotify Wrapped, your artist raps. And yeah, so, you go back and you do all that, the research and you look through your discography and there's like a clear like progression every year. How's that felt like for you?
It's pretty cool. Like for me, even though I'm like on the older side, I guess I'm 26, like I like didn't really start making music seriously until I was like basically 21, 22. And so I graduated college. I knew I wanted to like try it out, but I didn't really have my footing yet. So I took a job as a high school teacher and I was working as a high school teacher while making music on the side. And I had begun like really just rapping. I always wanted to sing and like write stuff like that. I just like didn't think I had the voice for it. Mm-hmm. And so I practiced and like melodined my voice until I started to sing like the pitch corrected version of myself, which is honestly like low key a pro tip for anyone trying to learn how to sing. And so I think every year from there, like I've just kind of like found new ways to use my voice and like treat it like an instrument. So when it started as just like my like singing in my normal register, I eventually learned how to do like a falsetto, which like when I started putting out stuff like Runner's High and songs like that, like I started to use that a little more and it just gave me a little more like dimension. And in the stuff that I've been doing recently, like Shy Homie and the stuff that's going to come out in the future, like I'm doing a lot of like shouting, which is fun. It's fun and like cathartic, but it's like a whole new thing. And so I think because I'm really just learning as I go on. So it's always cool for me to look back and like be thankful about like the ways that I've like learned from there before. And I know a lot of artists like to like clean slate their stuff and kind of like start from there. And like it's something obviously I've thought about a lot, but I do really like people being able to like go back and kind of see it.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I mean, you're not a teacher. Yeah, you do a little teaching, and you mentioned you when you were talking about that, you said something kind of funny. You were like, like I'm a teacher, like working on music. Usually it's the other way around, right?
Definitely.
Usually it's the student trying to make it out with the music. I mean, like, and I can imagine there's probably like students that you've taught that are like in the same boat. They're like pursuing something creative,
I can
and
shout
they
out a
like
couple
don't want to be in class right now. Like, what's that dynamic like when you like both know that like there's a greater good that you're working towards?
I just always try to like push them towards like understanding that like some of the stuff that seems like bullshit that you're learning in school is like actually useful. Mm-hmm. I know it seems like it's not, but it is. Like math is like mad valuable for like a lot of reasons. Like math will help you be better at Ableton, like understanding like the ratios of sounds, mixing and mastering and stuff like that. Like it has something to do with that. I mean, you don't have to be like a mathlete to do that stuff, but like it helps, Mm-hmm. Obviously like English and, you know, writing and stuff, like you can't be a great musician without at least some semblance of like being able to write. And being good with words is a good way to do it. I guess you could be a producer or something, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like a very valuable skill. And there's like all sorts of places you can find that in. And so it's like, I just want to like push my kids to understand that. Also, it's funny because kids are always like, yo, I'm in school. Like, they don't teach us anything. Like, what about all the valuable stuff? Like, when are you going to teach us about taxes? So like my first year, I taught a lesson on taxes. You know that J. Cole song Brackets?
Sure.
Where he talks about like how, like, what if I was just able to like pick where my taxes went from like an app? I was like, all right. So I printed that out, printed the lyrics out, played it for him, including the part where they're like, you have to suck half my dick, because I forgot that was there. Played it in the class. Like, the kids had to like sit there and like think about it, and then I used that as like a springboard to like explain how the tax system works. And the kids were just like, mister, this is boring as fuck. I was like, I told you, like, you really can't win. It's just something about being like a defiant like teenager, you know. It's just a part of the game. Like, I hope that like in my role as like a substitute teacher, like when I was a teacher, like I was just able to be like a little more relatable than some of the older teachers, and like kind of like guide them towards like recognizing that all this stuff is kind of valuable. And even like beyond that, like a work ethic is valuable, and like workplace skills are valuable, because even if you want to be a musician, you're probably gonna have to work at Starbucks for a couple years. And it's like learning how to like not quit anytime like your boss pisses you off. Even though like I wouldn't blame you if you did, but like it's a skill you got to develop, you know, to like be able to like kind of push through that kind of stuff. You can learn all that in school. So yeah, I just kind of try to guide them towards that kind of stuff.
Nice. Yeah. That's what I kind of like realized like post high school, and maybe in like turning like as I'm like ending college, is like it's really just like teaching you how to finish stuff, you know, and just like how to 100%. Like do stuff on time. Like that's kind of really just like, it's just making you like well-rounded as like a person.
Absolutely.
Is like the real meaning of school and stuff like that.
And you could be a complete fuck up in school and figure it out later.
Exactly.
It's just that this is like, you have like a regimented time to do it now. So it's like, if you're just going to be like watching like Fortnite comp videos on YouTube every time I give out a laptop, like you might as well like try to get this out of there, you know, like at least a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That was always like, I don't know, like school was like,
it's definitely not for everybody.
Yeah.
And it's also just not well designed.
No.
So like it makes sense that it's not for everybody. I don't think it's really for anybody. I think it's more like some people are able to adapt to it a little more. But it's not really meant for anybody. I don't think anybody is actually like benefiting from the way school is set up in America. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird stuff. School.
Damn right.
So like everything from the outside, from the fan, from like a listener point of view, from you seems like super calculated, and like there's a lot of attention to detail with everything you do. Like, do you think like being in a school system kind of like I'm blanking on how to word this, but pushes you in that direction? Or like, what if you feel the same way about being calculated, like how do you?
I think that a lot of my like artist calculated stuff comes from like, I was a nerd for artistry, like, and it's like beyond just music. Like I got sucked into rollouts as a kid, you know, like I was into that shit. Like all the albums that I anticipated when I was in high school, which is just gonna date myself if I name the albums that came out while I was in high school. But like, like I was like just completely like paying attention to the rollout, the detail, the album cover, like the interviews they did, where they went before they did it, like that kind of stuff. I was a nerd for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So because of that, I think I just kind of take that with me. But in terms of the school system, the one thing that I think I really learned from being a teacher, like, was how hard it is to like execute a plan. I'm very much like, and as a student, I was like this, like I winged a lot of shit, and I just kind of get up there and start talking. And usually that was like, that would get me through things. But it's like, as a teacher, that doesn't work. Cause it's like not about you. Like I can do that. My kids can't learn from someone who's just winging it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, if I have like a goal in mind, like there's so many things that can go wrong in a classroom. If I don't like timestamp everything that I'm gonna do, like I'm not gonna finish. I'm not gonna get to the part where I'm supposed to get to. So it's like, for me, like that taught me the importance of like planning stuff out.
Yeah, super translatable.
Because you really start to think about like, okay, I know how this looks to me, but how's this gonna look to somebody else? And so once it gets there, like I think it's like pretty similar to like, oh, what's this Instagram post gonna look like for somebody else? Or
Gotcha.
like, how long do I have to start posting before this? Is almost the same thing as like, how far into the class time do I have to have this part come out if they're gonna finish, you know. So I think that's really where I got that from the school system for sure.
So where did you get your sense of humor from? Because I mean, I think like, I mean, you dominate pretty much every like social media with just like comedy and like great takes and like comments and everything.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I'm very much like my dad. We're similar in that kind of aspect. I just like was always like watching like comedy TV. Like I was watching like Adult Swim when I was like 8. You know, I was like way too young to be watching that. Honestly, I used to watch like Aqua Teen Hunger Force and like Family Guy and stuff like that. And I was literally like, I would be like, what are they talking about? But you kind of pick up on it, you know. I think that's where it comes from. Like, I just like also like it's a part of like being a young teacher. Like, I found that like humor was a good way to like appeal to the kids and like do stuff. And so even before I was a teacher, I had a job on campus at the school that I went to, which is the University of Pennsylvania. Shout out to the Quakers. Not really, actually, but it was like I had a job handing out the newspaper right on the middle of campus every day. And I would be in front of like 2,000 people a day, and nobody really wanted to take the newspaper. I mean, like, it's like a school newspaper. It was free, but it's like nobody's gonna read that shit.
Yeah.
But I had to try to get rid of as many of them as possible. So I was hella like aggressive handing them out. Like every single day, if you walk past me, like it was in front of your hands to take. I didn't like force it on you, but it's like it's there. If you want to grab it, it's right where it needs to be. It's like being a quarterback, you know. And so I was like always like handing it off right where it needed to be. And I would blast music, and I would just try to be funny and like say funny things. If there was like something related, or just like try to make people laugh when they walk by. Just it's always been like the tool that I use to like kind of rope people into whatever shenanigans I'm doing, whether it's like handing out a newspaper or like getting you to click on my music. It's like, all right, like there's going to be 1,000 people on TikTok today. Honestly, that's like a low number. Like 10,000 people on TikTok today. We're going to be like, should I finish this? And it's like, if I do something funny, like it's going to stick out a little more than that. So it's just like it's just my personal angle, and it just kind of plays along to the kind of stuff that I think is like entertaining. So I definitely grew up liking funny artists too, like Tyler, the Creator. I mean, obviously it's like kind of the one that I think of, but even like I like some music with like a comedic tinge to it, kind of like Ludacris. Like was one of my favorite rappers when I was a kid. Obviously I liked Eminem because I'm white and I'm from America, but I liked Eminem a lot. I like Ludacris a lot, and Ludacris is very like he has like these like bombastic ass punchlines. It's like very like well delivered and like that kind of shit. I don't know, that just always like kind of dragged me into. So I was always into stuff like that. It's definitely on like a comedy tip. Kind of a class clown, so.
Okay, so a lot of your songs have like super heavy like subject matter.
Yeah.
Very like story driven. What's like your process like when you're thinking of a song or you're going in to like write it or record it, and like where do these like stories come from?
So there's times where like I started from the title. And like I'll just be like, bro, that title, that would be a funny ass song title. I'm trying to think like a lot of that stuff I feel like is coming out and hasn't out yet. But I'm thinking of stuff that's been out if I've started from a title. Fit Pick, I think I started from a title. I was like, yeah, that's like a funny word. Like how can I make a song out of that? And then I just kind of like unfurled it into like, okay, so it's like a metaphor for whatever. That one definitely started like that. I think just like a lot of times, like I as a kid, like was a big writer. Like I was like into that kind of stuff. That was like kind of my hobby. I used to like write like little like books on like construction paper and stuff. And I loved music, but they were like separate to me for a long time. I didn't really think about the fact that like it's kind of the same skill. I think the first time that cracked for me was when I heard Nostalgia Ultra, and like I heard the way Frank wrote, and I was like, damn. Because he's doing it with like the music that I like and like the aesthetics, even like the old video games and the cool cars and stuff. And like it's just like I felt like I understood that kind of stuff on like a deeper level than anything I've ever listened to. And so from that moment I was like, damn, like I want to like take the skill of writing and put it into music. And so I think growing up like in the era that I did with like an iPod and like being able to jump from genre to genre like all the time, like my brain jumps that way too. And so where it's like you don't really have to be like a rock band that makes rock band songs all the time. Like I love the Strokes. It's like for in general, like the Strokes have like a specific kind of song, right? Which is sick. Because mad people just try to make Stroke songs because they made their own style. But it's like for an artist now, it's like you can kind of do whatever you want, and the industry is set up that way. Like you can, and listeners are smart enough to fuck with it. So the thing that I make sure connects all my stuff is like that it sounds like I wrote it. You know?
Definitely. Yeah, little side conversation
No,
going
it's
on
cool,
behind the camera.
Classic.
More? Oh, was it like covering my face? Yeah. Obviously, we'll cut the. This is a great time for it. Okay, this is like.
Y'all got an ad read?
Yeah, we got. Thank you, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this. Do you need help?
Yeah, we have help, and it's better. Thank you, Dunkin' Donuts, for.
Oh yeah, Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, that's kind of an East Coast thing, isn't it? They have Dunkin' Donuts in LA.
I think
right?
they have Dunkin' Donuts here. I've never had it. I know.
Tim Hortons. Yeah,
I've never heard of
Tim
that.
Hortons is gas for sure.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Shout out to Dunkin' Donuts, man.
Thank you, Dunkin' Donuts, for sponsoring this interview.
That was really nice of you guys.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Love coffee.
That's great.
I lost my steam. I want to know more about the baseball head. Bloomy is Boomy.
It's because he had a bomb wire coming out of his head.
Right. Have you elaborated more on that? Like,
it was just like a. I don't really know like what I just like I like weird shit like that. Like you can't really explain why that shit is there really like ever.
Okay.
There's like so when I first started making that EP, I was self-managed. And by the time that the first single dropped, I wasn't self-managed anymore. I'd met my managers and they're great and they helped me like kind of like spruce up a lot of shit. But that was my like self-directed like concept that I had for that EP was like it was the original title was iBomb Classic, like iPod Classic, and so we were gonna do the logo like that, and I was gonna mail out an iPod with it on it, and it was gonna have that like the album on it, or it was an EP, but like have the EP on it, and so that was like the logo or like the face of it all. And I remember I called the mascot company, and I was like, "Yo, can I get this like custom whatever?" And I like described the idea, and they were like, "That's a great idea. Yeah, it's like $2,500." And I was like, "We're not doing that." So I have this great friend. Her name is Abby, sociopath. She's in a music group called Dead Phone. They're super fire. Yeah, so she's helped me we've been friends since like middle school. She's helped me like do all sorts she dyes my hair. Like she's done all sorts of like cool aesthetic stuff for me, including making that baseball head. So we bought like a shitty Mr. Met head, intentionally shitty. Like it needed to be shitty because we wanted it to not look like Mr. Met. So we had to buy it from like AliExpress or like some like Chinese website and be like, don't put the eyes on it, don't put the mouth on it, or like just leave the mouth whole, like nothing else. It's a crazy sentence out of context, but we only need the mouth hole. Don't worry about what we need it for. And so they sent it to us, and she just like added everything else. Like she made the little bomb head part of it, and like drew the eyes, like the little Astro Boy eyes that I'd like drawn myself on like the little sketch. I still have it somewhere. And she put that together. And so originally there were 4 videos for the 4 songs. So the original Oyster video involves Boomy. It never came out because we did a higher budget video for it. And there's also a video for Bubbly that's really stupid and funny that has Boomy in it. And honestly, like at some point I might put it out. I haven't really decided what to do with it. I kind of like went and did Shy Homie after the EP, so it'd be like kind of weird to drop a video now, but I've been thinking about it because it's really funny. It's like so stupid. It's like a Colors parody, and like the baseball head guys in the background while I'm like doing stuff, and it's weird. Also has like a epilepsy warning for all sorts of stupid shit that happens in that video. But so my idea was just to do like 4 videos kind of like connected, and it was based around like the iPod Classic, or like the concept of having like these like 4 songs, you know, they kind of fit together on this little thing. That's where that came from.
Gotcha.
It was just kind of like, I don't know, I grew up in Queens, so it's like I've seen a lot of Mr. Met. I'm actually a Yankees fan, but like I have respect for the Mets since they're from my borough and stuff. But yeah, it just was like kind of just weird like touch point of a bunch of references I have in my life. Shout out to Boomy though. I still have it in my room. It's so fucking creepy, like without the context. It's like look at it, you're like, what is this thing? Also, it's so hard to see when you're wearing that shit. I have like so much respect for like sports mascots now. It's like so fucking hard to like walk around in that shit. I'm trying to think what I did. Well, the Oyster video that never came out, I was doing a lot of like athletic things in it, and it's like running in that thing is fucking nuts, man. Like you can't see shit, and like I had to like do pull-ups and stuff, and the head is the head is like giant, so it's like you're like grabbing it and like doing pull-ups, and it's like hitting against it was a mess, man. It was a mess.
The Shy Homie video looks super fun to shoot.
It was really fun. That was my house, actually.
Okay.
It's like my childhood home.
Sick.
Yeah. And some of the shots are cheated with my manager's house, but you wouldn't be able to tell, probably.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question. Who do you think the king of New York is in terms of rapping or just music in general?
Just like all time, like the best rapper from New York.
Let's do all time and let's do right now.
I'll start with right now.
Yeah.
I think the best rapper in New York right now is probably B-Love.
Not K-Flock?
I like B-Love. I like B-Love's sample choices more than I like K-Flock samples. But I like K-Flock too. Look, I cannot hand out a laptop where I teach in the Bronx. Within 3 minutes, I hear doo-doo, doo-doo, doo-doo. like every fucking time, without fail. And I like the one where he raps on the Empire of the Sun song too. I think that shit is fire. I put him up there. I think that I'd have Fabio second because I think that he's low-key out of run this year. I think that Storytime song is crazy. He had this other freestyle that came out the other day. It was sick. Obviously, the Off the Grid verse is fire, including the Mr. Krabs version, which is hilarious. I don't know if you've seen that. When I was in jail, I was low-key. Like, it's so funny.
I heard that the other day for the first time.
Yeah, I put Fabio up there. I think that he has he very authentically has like the New York energy, like that Wetty song, like the Mellow Mama in a Deli, right? That song, like it sounds like New York in a way, like the modern New York in a way that like nothing else really sounds like. In terms of like New York rappers of all time, I feel like I would pick the easy choice. Like it's probably Jay-Z. He sounds like New York. He has the New York anthem, the Empire State of Mind, as like kind of forced as that song is. Like, fortunately, it still gets played. You know, like it's out here. He did that, and that was after albums of albums. Like I think the Blueprint kind of just like encapsulates like the New York sound from when I was like starting to listen to music. I was not that old when the Blueprint came out. Just to be clear, I'm not that old, but like I was definitely alive. Yeah, like I think he has like the New York sound down kind of like perfectly.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up? You grew up in the Bronx, like your
I
whole
grew
life?
up in Queens.
Queens. Okay.
The school that I teach at is in the Bronx.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I lived my entire life in Queens. I went to college in Philly. And besides that, I studied abroad in Cuba for a semester. I've never lived anywhere else. That was it. So yeah, I lived in Queens my whole life. Queens is great. I live in Astoria. It's like a kind of like it's like a traditionally Greek American neighborhood, but now it's like kind of just like yuppies and like immigrants, which is cool. It's like a cool mix of a bunch of different people. The food's fire, like easy to get around. There's definitely some things like, you know, I took the subway at like a really young age by myself. Like definitely taught me to be like independent and stuff. Like it's cool. I love New York. It's great. Like you really just like are just around people of like different backgrounds all the time. It's kind of cliche to talk about, like especially in Queens, because Queens is like the like diverse borough. So everyone's always like, oh, it's like so diverse. I can go here and there, and it's like true, right? Which is like why people say it, but it's like it's more than that. It's also like a certain kind of attitude. Like Queens is cool. It's the most like low key borough, I think, and like not. It's like a popular loner borough. I feel like it's the way to put it, and it kind of just stacks bread on its own, and like is not so worried about what other people think.
I had to make a couple bands by my lonely. So true.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's like it doesn't have like the attention that like Brooklyn gets, or like obviously like Manhattan is Manhattan in terms of like big skyscrapers and stuff. And then the Bronx has like a lot of personality. But I would say Queens is like a good mix of like all of them. Not with that. Well, we have a little bit of Staten Island in us too. Just depends on where you go. But yeah, it's cool. It's a good place to grow up. I would definitely raise my kids there too. Like I'm pro Queens, for sure.
Is that the goal to reside there when you're older?
I don't know if I want to live there my entire life, but I would probably want to live there when I'm older. Yeah, I'll definitely live in New York for sure.
Fire.
See how long I can take the winter. But yeah, I do love it there. It's like kind of hard to beat. I love it out here too. This would probably be the two places I would live. If I ever got like super famous, I would probably like live somewhere abroad for a little while, just like so that people would think I was deep. You know?
Yeah.
Be like, damn, he lives in London now. That's crazy. You know? Like, damn, that new album must be crazy. He's in London. And I'm just like getting beats from like the people I just
Shout
work
out
with.
Glendive, Montana.
Yeah.
Was that
Bro,
right?
yeah, no, yeah. I had a writing camp there actually. It was fire.
Wow.
Yeah. It was cool, yeah. No, a lot of my students are from Glendive.
Oh, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
That
explains the stream farm for sure. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's where they learned it. It's kind of like ingrained in their culture in Glendive. They get their favorite artist, they just stream it. Imagine that's like where all the K-pop fans lived. It's like Glendive, and there was like one like Korean exchange student who just put them all on in like the 90s. And it's like just like this like conspiracy theory, and they're just all there. Like all the Twitter threads you see is like they're like next to each other when they're doing it. You know, like posting fan cams and shit like in class. It's just like all the K-pop stands live in Glendive. That would be wild.
That stuff is cutthroat.
Dude, yeah, it's nuts out there, man. I need a fan cam.
For real.
If anyone's not, I don't think I have one yet. I might have one. I don't think I have one. If I have one, I forgot.
That's like bucket list. Like,
oh, dude, yeah. That's like way up on the bucket list. That's never happened for me.
It's just happened.
I got one of the bucket list items really early, like more like earlier than I should have, which is like hear your music playing somewhere.
Yeah, in a restaurant.
Yeah,
right?
that was crazy. It was also in Paris, and I was with my mom. So it just like bought me like 10 years of being like a broke musician, like right there. Like I just be like, you know, get a job. You're 30. And be like, remember in Paris? Like, you know? She's like, oh yeah, you're right. You know.
That's so.
Yeah. That was so clutch.
That's fine. Yeah. Well, it's time for the first edition of a segment in our interview series called ATM's. What is it called again? ATM's three from ATM CG.
Ooh,
so I don't even know what he's about to ask, but
boy, let's go.
Nice
Bring it
cozy.
in. Ooh, with the Gucci socks.
Yes, sir.
Actually,
Shout out Imran Potato.
Yes,
I
sir.
think
Legend.
he's a New York native as well, huh?
Dude, I wanted those like fake Yeezy runners, like the foam runners, so bad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, those are sick.
All right. So I feel like we might be beating a dead horse already here, but
It's cool. He deserves
your
it.
t-shirt.
Yes, sir.
So you know what time it is?
Like right now?
No, what time? It's pop quiz time.
Oh, bring it on.
What is the square root of 144?
12.
Easy.
he is a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a call back to our DM interaction last week. Define blasphemy.
Oh, it's like when you say something bad about God.
How do you spell it?
BLASPHEMY.
I'm sorry, but that's incorrect. It is spelled IT. Thank you.
What?
Damn, he got my ass. That's crazy. You put an air horn on that in post. Oh, he got my ass. That was nuts. Wow, I walked right into that shit.
Yeah, your
Damn,
school
bro.
is gonna watch this interview back, and they're gonna be like, "Wait a
They're
second.
gonna be like, this man swears like a sailor. Oops. I did it in class once, and the kids freaked out. It was so funny. One time I dropped the F-bomb, like when I was still like a full-time teacher, and like the kids made fun of me for it.
Wow.
They were scared for like 5 seconds, and then they were like, every time I would do something, they would like make fun of like what I look like when I'm mad. Be like,
What got you so worked up to the point of?
oh, they were just so annoing. I don't remember what it was. This is like
man.
ninth graders, man. Ninth graders are the worst. They're
Yeah.
like they have the energy of middle schoolers with like the immature topics of high schoolers. It's rough.
Wow.
Yeah, not great. Shout out to them though.
I wish I could see that. I wish I could be a fly on the wall in that situation.
Oh, man.
And watch that. And watch that go down. Yeah, that was 3 with ATM CG. Thanks ATM CG for
That was a great segment. That's
awesome.
fire.
I'm glad it worked out. I didn't know what he was gonna ask, so I was a little bit concerned, but
Damn, he could have asked for my social security number. I had it ready to go.
yeah. So, what is you don't shy away from collaboration. So like, what's
Do
a
love 'em.
collaboration that you would love to have?
Blue
Like,
Bucks Clan. I'm so serious. I want to be like, you know how Quavo has that song with them where Quavo is just trading bars with them, like he's the third member of the group. That's what I want
Okay,
for sure.
fire.
I don't know how it would work, but I think it would happen. They just joke about scamming rappers asking for features, and it scares me away. But I'll take the L,
Yeah,
and I'll
but-
see what happens. I mean,
no-
I was already TJX6's profile picture.
Exactly. Yeah,
Was.
you've proven that the scam rapping it's all facade. It's all just for show.
Some of it.
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't check like every bank account I have after that interaction, so I probably could have. But yeah, I would love to work with them. They're a big inspiration. Like their punchlines and like general energy is like huge. Like anytime I find places to like still rap in my music, like definitely like Jeezy from Blue Bucks is like my biggest rap inspiration. He's so fire.
So what do you do away from music, away from teaching? When does Hadji get to be Hadji?
I love riding bikes. I'm a big
Nice.
bike rider, and doing it in like New York is like a little like hairy, but it's fun, you know. Definitely like cutting dudes off kind of recklessly. I used to be a big skateboarder, not for tricks, just for like getting around New York. I can't even ollie. I've tried so
Wow.
many times. I'm such a fucking scrub. I'm gonna like get it down at some point, but it's at the time of this interview, I haven't figured it out yet.
Have you seen that TikTok of the guy who's just on the bike in the bike lane in New York, and he's like, there like be like people walking in the bike lane. He's like, I'm like it was like the I'm walking here, but like on a bike.
I'm biking here.
Yeah, no, like pretty much.
Riding the wrong side.
Oh, he's riding the wrong side.
Yo,
It's always like this guy's fault.
Yeah,
He's yelling at everybody.
yeah.
Aggressively.
Dude,
What's-
I hate when bikers do that.
What's been like your most New York interaction?
Oh man. Ooh, I gotta think about this. I broke up a street fight once.
Wow.
Yeah. It was between like these like 3 18-year-old like fuck up kids in a BMW.
Damn.
And this like 55-year-old dude like delivering food in this like big ass van, and he definitely was like missing teeth and was like very scary looking. And they were driving down a one-way street, and I was coming from the gym, so I had like a little bit of like energy in me,
Yeah,
you know,
a little
like
pump
a little
going,
pump
yeah,
going.
yeah.
They were driving down like a one-way street together like this because they were obviously waiting for the other guy to like they were gonna try to pass, and it was like super narrow. And then as they were trying to pass, the other guy started to go, and you know it was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like who's right? So they get
Yeah.
out of their cars, and I'm like walking. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Like I'm 1 block from my house. They're like walking, and they're like, oh, like what the fuck, bro? Like fuck you up right now. And I like walk up to them like, yo, relax, get back in your car. You get back in your car. Get the fuck up, drive away, right? And they do that. They get in their car. It's a red light. They're at the red light. It's kind of a long red light. I'm walking. I'm on my block, and I see them both come up, get out of their cars again, and start to fight again. Now right in front of my house, right? And so I live on. At the time, I lived on the same block as a fire station, and so I run in to break up the fight, grabbing somebody, trying to pull somebody off somebody. The firefighters see it, run in, grab me. I'm like, no, like I'm not even a part of this. Like, please, like. They called the cops. They were like just grabbing the dudes. One of the kids got arrested, I think. It was crazy. And then my neighbors came out to watch it, and I realized that one of my neighbors at the time was like, he was like the founder of like one of the streetwear brands in my neighborhood. And I was like, that's very New York. I wear this all the time. And I like complimented his girlfriend. I was like, oh, nice Belief sweater. She's like, that's his company. I was like, no way, you know? It's very New York. Just break up a street fight, get grabbed by a firefighter, and then like meet your favorite streetwear designer.
Wow.
Yeah, it was cool.
That was awesome. It was a great story. Leads me right into my next question. You, so you've talked about it in your songs, but it seems like it goes more than just kind of like talk about it in songs, but like streetwear and like that New York, like kind of like fashion culture. Like you've been paying attention to it for like a good amount of time, it seems like.
Definitely. It was a big part of like being a high schooler in New York. I feel like I got super into sneakers when I was like 14, 15. I remember going to the mall to like buy like used like Nike Blue Lobster SBs. And they were like, I'm like a size 10. They were like a size 11.5. And I was like, this is the best I can do. So I took like those force fields and I put them in there, and then I was just like walk with them, look like a fucking clown. But I was super into sneakers. I love like Jeremy Scott sneakers.
Oh yeah.
Like I had the rainbow ones with the wings.
Nice.
And so I used to like get stopped on the street and people would ask me to take pictures. I don't know if it was because
Really?
they thought I looked cool or because they thought I was a fucking idiot. It was one of the two. I also looked like Coconut Head from Ned's Declassified at this time. So it was like, imagine Coconut Head wearing those. It was a wild fit. It was pretty nasty, honestly. But yeah, I did like then I got into like longboarding for a second, which like in the city is kind of weird because it's like, I feel like it's like a very West Coast thing. But there was like this thing called the Broadway Bomb, where a bunch of like longboarders would start at like around like Morningside Heights, which is like top of Manhattan, not really, but like close to the top of Manhattan, and then would just go right down Broadway in Manhattan, like 300 longboarders at once. All the way to like the South Street Seaport, which is like the bottom tip of Manhattan. And so I did that one year, and I did it in like the Jeremy Scott Panda shoes, which was cool. So I was super into that shit, like super flashy shit. And then I just kind of like eventually kind of grew out of the flashier shit because I just was like, damn, I can't wear this. But I still appreciate it, you know? But it's always been a part of my life. And like, it just makes me think a lot about like everything you do is like, could be like, it's just like another way to express yourself, the same way that people express themselves in a certain way. And it's like a lot of the ways people used to dress in the past were just based on like, oh, you have to wear a suit to work, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, it's not really like that. As a teacher, like I was just wearing silly shit. Like I used to get stopped at the metal detector every day my first year of teaching because they thought I was a student every single day without fail because I was just dressed like one. But yeah, it's just like, you know, I've always been into that kind of stuff. It's just a cool world. There's been a lot of cool, you know, we were lucky to like live at the same time. There's a lot of great designers like Virgil, you know, R.I.P. You know, Nego, like there's just like so much like cool stuff going on, and so I just got kind of sucked into that early. I feel like a lot of my favorite artists were into it, so it was cool for me to like that kind of gatewayed me into a lot of stuff. But yeah, it's just like another cool way to express yourself. So big fan of it. Love lowballing people on Grailed and then getting mad when people lowball me when I'm selling stuff. So
I used to like flip stuff on Grailed all the
Same.
time, and I put it at like outrageous prices,
Same.
like knowing it was outrageous. So then when they
Same.
lowball it, I'm like, yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I could do that.
Dude,
Sure.
yeah,
That's some
exactly.
nice guy.
I'll cut you a deal here, dude. I got banned from Grailed when I was 15, guys. Because they started taxing like 9%. They would take 9%.
Yeah, dude.
So I'd be like, how about we take this to PayPal?
Oh, no, they got your ass,
and
bro. You can't do that.
Yeah, they sent me an email. Like, it was a real dude. He was like, hey, man, like, if you keep doing this, like, we're going to suspend your account. I'm like, I don't care. So I just kept doing it. And
Damn,
and
they
then I
got your
banned.
ass.
Yeah, dude, because I would be so pissed. I would like, it wouldn't even be worth it to flip it anymore. It'd
You
make
gotta
like
type a
$20
certain way.
profit.
You gotta type a certain way in the Grailed chat so that they don't get flagged.
Yeah. I
It's
honestly,
like with spaces or like you just like say certain things. Yeah, it's weird. It's tough. I've done it before once or twice, but yeah, it's definitely a scary world. You gotta be careful doing that shit. One time, Kygo tried to buy my thing. It was just a dude named Kygo on Grailed, and I was like, "Are you Kygo?" And he's like, "I can neither confirm or deny that." I was like, "You're definitely Kygo, bro. Why don't you just say you're Kygo then?" It's weird if you're not Kygo and you say that. Like, why would you say that? Just be like,
Right.
no, I just really like Kygo's music.
yeah.
Because if you
Just
don't
like-
say no, you're definitely Kygo, or you're really weird.
Yeah.
It's like, why are you impersonating Kygo on Grailed? Shout out to that guy though. Either Kygo or the guy impersonating Kygo on Grailed. Fascinating guy. I don't think he ended up buying the thing that I was selling. Too late. It's already gone.
Did you ever wait in a Supreme line?
No. No. I tried to go to get like the Supreme Dunks at like 6 p.m. one day when I was like 15, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we don't have those. Like, it's 6 p.m."
Those are gone at
I
9 in
was
the
like-
morning. Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't really. It wasn't as like much of a thing. Like it was, but it wasn't like well known that like people were lining up to buy
Yeah.
stuff like super early at
Yeah.
that point. So it was like, I was like, damn, really? That sucks.
Those complex videos were great.
That was kind of what made it like when they had like Emily Oberg in the
Yeah.
line like asking questions. That was what made it like a big thing.
Shout out Emily Oberg.
Definitely shout out to Emily Oberg.
Emily
I'm a
Oberg.
big fan of her work.
Yep.
Sporty and rich, baby. It's me.
Yeah. So, what's next for Hadji Gaviota?
Ooh, I'm working on a project right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited about. I actually played you some of the songs before.
Sounded really good.
Yeah, and so I'm just kind of. I want to make sure I can present it in as big of a way as possible. So I'm doing all the things I got to do that. Still getting songs together. It's not like I have all the songs ready, but I definitely have like the shape of it. I have some other songs that like are not a part of it that I might drop first, that are fun and cool. So I should be back in your algorithms pretty quickly into 2022. Just want to make sure I get everything right. And beyond that, like hopefully some shows, not just in New York, probably LA and New York at least, and maybe some tour opportunities. I don't know. That one I can't really. Just kind of putting it into manifesting that one. That one's not like on the plate yet, but it would be sick. But the other stuff is definitely coming. A lot of music on the way. Just always trying to like find ways to like kind of push what I've done in the past like a little further. Yeah, just more like stupid TikToks for sure. I'll definitely be like a teacher at least through June, so I have a lot of content to make while I'm supposed to be doing my job. Should be going crazy in that world. Yeah, just like hopefully some cool collaborations on the way. I feel like this year kind of opened some doors, so I'm gonna try to see what's behind them, peek in, that kind of shit. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff coming that I'm super excited about. We're definitely gonna take stuff to the next level next year. About to be the 16th club after next year, man. gonna need a whole new club.
A whole new club.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a new one.
Can I
Yeah,
ask what the name means?
of course.
Yeah.
So I played golf like super seriously and competitive from when I was like 10 to about 19.
That's some West Coast shit.
That everybody from the East Coast, when I tell them that, says the same thing.
That's
They're-
fire.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to start doing that in
Really?
New York. Yeah.
Yeah.
We went golfing once as like a school, as like a class, like my honors math class. There was like 6 kids in it. There was one kid who loved golf, and he convinced like our crazy Romanian math teacher to take us to a golf course once. It was funny as fuck. None of us knew how to golf except for this one kid. And he
Oh,
was just
gosh.
like kicking our ass, and like we were just like using like the wrong clubs at the wrong time.
But-
What a legend.
To tell the story of where the name came from, so I played golf pretty seriously, and one of my biggest struggles with it was the mental game, because it's a very mental sport. I mean, you're just in your head for 4 hours out there by yourself, and I read a book called My 15th Club, and that's basically just like using your brain on the course and
It's
stuff like
because
that.
there's 14th club.
Right
14
there,
clubs.
yeah. So you're only
So
allowed to have 14 clubs in golf. So then there was my 15th
Ah.
club, and I was just like, I like really like that idea of just like the
That's
15th club
fire.
being your brain. Yeah. So I just wanted to take that and apply that to like music and everything like that, and just taking everything within music a step further.
That's sick. I love that.
Crazy.
That's a great explanation.
Thank you.
Is there a golf club in your logo?
I feel like he's been saying that for years to like implement it. I don't know. I never like really wanted it to like make it all about that. I like how there's like the mystery behind
You gotta
it.
get Schoolboy Q on there.
Yeah, dude. The amount of times I've DM'd him like because he's came to Fresno a few
Bro,
times.
you love golf? I love golf.
Yeah. Oh, wait, what?
He has like golf apparel, I think.
I'm like good off that though. Nah. All right.
But MGK would definitely like.
Oh, I don't want to be within 300 feet of MGK. All right. I'm gonna get just a restraining order just to keep myself. I may
MGK.
have to go like cause one with him, so then I don't have to be around.
MGK RXK nephew win.
Oh my god! Like a boxing match, like
A song and a boxing match drop on the same day. And he just like where he's a feature but he's dissing MGK. I could see that being a thing.
that'd be so perfect. That'd be amazing. Okay. What final question?
Yeah.
Anything that I didn't ask you in this interview, if you've never been asked before, that you've like want people to know about you or anything?
I've definitely been asked this before, but I feel like I should say this every time. My name, Hadji, is my middle name. It's not my first name. My first name is Mark. It sounds like a fucking accountant-ass name. So in general, I tend to go by Hadji. And my ethnicity is Greek American, half. My mom's Irish. I'm not, I'm white. I get added to, brown artist chats all the time, and it's really awkward. So I just want to say this now. Because I'm definitely white. I actually I've had phone calls with labels that were South Asian inclined because they were we just weren't sure. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that I'm a white man.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. You heard it here first, guys.
Breaking news. Yeah,
yeah.
I know. To most people that's probably not news, but yeah, it's really funny. Honestly, I kind of get a kick out of it, but it's it's probably for the best. One time, Heems on Twitter was I replied, said something nice about Heems when That's Racist was a thing, and he replied and was y'all brown kings got next, and I was do I tell him I'm not brown in this Twitter? It was 2014. I was it's kind of weird for me to be thanks, I'm not brown. I just didn't say anything, but it's been going on for a while, so I feel I should address it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. This is great. Thank you so much, man.
of course, man.
I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you.
me, as
Yeah,
always.
That was great.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody for watching. Go stream Hadji's music, all of it, and the new stuff coming out. Peace.
Peace.
Let's go.
Bro, literally.
Crazy way to end.